What do you do to improve your kind of leadership skills or communication skills?
A lot of people think that leadership is about being the most competent person in the room. That makes you a leader. Absolutely not. There's no balance nowhere in my life. You could be very stressed on the inside, but you cannot show it to anyone. We don't have time for, formalities and kindness.
You can have a lot of money and not be successful. So what is this kind of vision that is making Dubai successful, that you are then also looking into your dental clinics? How can we use this inspiration for our clinics? Welcome to another episode of Leading by Example. I am very excited about today's guest because he's a little bit different from the other guests that I've had in my studio. This guy that I have today, he's actually a doctor and he has built something incredible here in Dubai and also about to be very global with his brands. We're going to dive into a lot of different things of what it takes to be a specialist, but building a very strong personal brand, but also what it takes to become a leader in his field. So Dr. Mohammed Naji, welcome to my podcast studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am very good. How are you?
Good.
Doctor, so this is the first time that I have someone from the medical field in my podcast, and this podcast is about leadership. Yeah. So we're going to dive into, what does it take to be a dentist and then go into leadership? Because I imagine it's a little bit different from what you expect in the corporate world. But before we dive into that, could you give us a small introduction to who is Dr. Mohammed Naji?
Dr. Mohammed Naji, I am the executive director of Liberty Medical Group, founder of MoNaji Group, which is a brand of oral healthcare products. And I'm an orthodontist by day and entrepreneur, leader, and many other things after that.
I was just about to say, and Batman by night.
Yeah, Batman by night. Yeah. That's pretty much it. So
all right.
That's all the titles for now.
Yeah. and so you are still very active in your dental work.
Yeah.
Besides all the business and the leadership that you also are doing. So how do you balance being a dentist where you actually have to work with people's teeth, but also running a business and, starting different entrepreneurship adventures and so on?
There's no balance, to be honest, nowhere in my life. The whole me time and balancing between life and business doesn't really happen for anyone that's trying to build something. I'm sure you know about that. Yeah. But when it comes to my clinical work, it's just when the patient is on the chair, that's all that exists. That's me for the patient, 100%. Once the patient is off the chair, sometimes between patients, I'm sending emails, finalizing some quick meetings, getting things done after work, past 5 p.m. until midnight or sometimes after that. It's just pure business. So, there isn't an actual balance. It's just, an ongoing thing.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
But how many hours a day do you sleep then?
I try my best to do 8, but it doesn't often happen. We're looking at 6 hours on average.
Yeah. All right. Even though sleep is very important for you.
I know. I can't deny that. I see the difference in my, my results when I sleep better, but sometimes you just can't do anything about it.
No, I know all about it. I also try to keep it to 7-8 hours, but sometimes you sit and work all night and you have something in the morning you also have to attend to, and then you just don't get enough sleep. Exactly. But I try actually, whenever I have a podcast, I try to get at least 8 hours sleep so I can be fresh and ready for this episode.
Same, I tried, but I couldn't last night.
So if you're yawning a little bit, it's not because of me. All right. So take me back to the first time you find yourself in a leadership position where you actually had to lead people. When did that happen?
I can't recall a specific time. I mean, it could go back to high school. But one thing about, dentists and doctors, medicine in general, a lot of people think that, they're doctors. They do books. That's all they can do. And procedures. But let me tell you something. When it comes to dentistry, it is the purest form of leadership. Day to day, every other second, because you are leading the show in the room. Let's not talk about the bigger scales of leading. We're talking about day-to-day leadership. You need to lead your team, whether it's your colleagues or working with you on the same case, your assistants and nurses, and you're also leading the patient. Sometimes people limit leadership to only colleagues or employees. You also lead your clients. For us, it's the
Yeah,
patients
yeah,
in a way or another. So leading the patient to the comfort zone, to trusting you, to all of that is also a form of leadership.
Yeah.
So I think it's in a lot of dentists, it's something that they acquire and they establish throughout their education and their day-to-day life.
Yeah.
So I think from that we obtain a lot of things that help us become the actual leaders of the dental chair.
That's actually a very interesting perspective. I never thought about that, but that's true, right? Because as a dentist, you sit there with a patient, but you also have the what do you call the colleagues in the room,
Yeah.
the nurses, or
Yeah.
you have to lead them from a very early age, I imagine, right?
And it's a very critical and sensitive method of leadership.
Yeah.
Because you could be very stressed on the inside, but you cannot portray it or show it to anyone. And you're working with micro details, very, very fine details. And you have at least, 10 to 20 instruments that you need to choose in between and guide your nurse where to, hold the cheek here and put the suction there. And the patient is also stressing you out even more, but you cannot show that.
Yeah.
So,
I imagine there's a lot of stress for patients going to a dentist. I mean, I don't like going to a dentist.
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Oh, yeah.
My wife has huge fear of dentists. I mean, she can't go.
We try to fix that now. I mean, it is getting better, but I mean that's another topic.
Yeah. All right, because that's actually very interesting. Because when you are in this room with your nurse and with your colleagues, and you have to act very fast in corporate world, if you are in that position and as a leader you have to act very fast, you can come across as rude or arrogant or very tough leader because you say you want things very fast. But in a dental clinic, you have to.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you make sure that when you're communicating something very urgent to your people, that you still don't come across as someone that is a mean boss, but actually just we have to do the work now?
It's laying it down on the table from day one with any person you work with. Everyone that works with me knows that at work, it's never personal. We have a job. We need to get it done in the safest and fastest way possible.
Yeah.
And to do that, please put your emotions aside during that time. Because we're all very stressed, but you cannot show it. And we don't have time for, formalities and kindness. Oh,
Can you please give me now?
Yeah, like for example, one thing for me, my assistant in the room, sometimes I ask her to call the reception or call another nurse to get something. Anyone that works with me knows that they cannot pick up the phone and go like, hey, hi, how are you? Send me XYZ. Shut the phone. There is no hello, there is no bye, there is no thank you.
And it's not personal, but
It's not personal. At the end of the day, hug each other. It's fine. Like apologize, thank each other as much as you want.
Yeah.
But during work, I mean, I have a patient with his mouth opened and he's probably in pain and we're giving injections. And it's not like the most pleasant experience for every patient.
Yeah.
So you just need to get it done as fast and safe as possible. So yeah, that's how we do it.
So it's a lot about expectation settings from the beginning, saying this is how we work.
Yeah.
It's not personal,
Yeah.
but we need to act quickly.
Yeah.
And that's very cool.
Very.
So this is basically when you started your first, you can say, leadership experience. It's already in the room as a dentist. Do you at dental school, do you get any kind of leadership training or communication training to be able to handle those kind of situations?
Unfortunately not. That's something I've been working on recently. I've created this program that teaches healthcare management, administration, and leadership in a way. And we're really trying to push for it with a lot of universities. Last time I did it was in King's College in London. They absolutely loved it. We've done it in New York as well, Columbia University. Everywhere we go, we present that. They really like the idea. I actually had a couple of deans from colleges reach out like, hey, we want to grow this. We want to do something about it. But that's one problem about the academic system in dentistry is that it's very, it's very dental focused, pure dentistry, which is something we need. So it's
course.
good, but it's not enough.
But I think that's a general problem in all kind of educational systems or academic what do you call it, areas, that you focus on the specific academics and not about the people management part of it, or how do you communicate effectively in this kind of situations, because I imagine it's also important for an engineer or a doctor at the hospital to be able to communicate very effectively, but we don't train that. We just focus on the craft that we need to work with, right? So what do you do to improve your kind of leadership skills or communication skills, and what do your team do, or do they do anything to improve their way they communicate?
I must say a lot of it was acquired by experience with time. It comes. Maybe that's why a lot of people fall into that trap of comfort. They feel that I have enough experience. I've seen it all. I've done it all. I don't need more. But no, you'd be shocked. I attended a lot of communication courses, a lot of leadership programs. Every time I go there, I realize that there's still a lot of things to learn. So I try to keep learning as much as I can, and I follow the right people.
Quick break from the conversation. This episode is sponsored by Blue Energy Partners. They are a company that I'm genuinely excited to collaborate with because they represent the kind of leadership that we talk about here in this podcast: ambition, clarity, and a strong focus on responsibility and trust. Blue Energy Partners is making a real mark in the marine fuel world, not only through the services they provide, but through the way they build relationships and shape their internal culture. They move fast, they trust their people, and they are committed to raising the standard in their industry. That kind of leadership creates results that last. So if you work in shipping or energy, they are definitely a company worth following. And if you are a leader looking for an ambitious and international place to grow, I would keep an eye on them. They are expanding, they are developing, and they are building something truly impressive. So thank you to Blue Energy Partners for supporting this podcast and for supporting meaningful conversations about leadership. Now, back to the episode. Yeah. And who are some of the people, talking about this, who are some of the people that you find inspiration from your own leadership journey?
There is a couple of, in the healthcare industry in specific,
in general,
there's
for inspiration?
plenty of people, to be honest. Starting off with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. That's probably a cliche answer. Every person in Dubai would answer the same, but I don't look at it like that. I'm not talking about Burj Khalifa and Sheikh Zayed Road. No. I'm talking about a man who had the leadership skills to establish the culture, and to improve the culture rather than just the scenery of the city. A lot of countries are now trying to copy that by building towers and utilizing the financial strengths they have, but that's not the secret. What Sheikh Mohammed did, he recreated a culture.
Yeah.
So that form of leadership we see on daily basis with him is super inspiring.
That's very interesting you said that, because my previous guest I had on my show also, he's a local Emirati, and he also mentioned that, because I asked him this question, and maybe also something we can look into, that a lot of people have misconceptions about Dubai. They say, there's a lot of oil money, that's why they're successful. But you can have a lot of money and not be successful. So what is this kind of vision that is making Dubai successful, that you are then also looking into your dental clinics? How can we use this inspiration for our clinics?
It's not, a lot of people think that leadership is about competence, being the most competent person in the room. That makes you a leader. Absolutely not. Leadership is about teaching people or leading people to make the right decisions when you're not there.
Exactly.
If I am the most competent and I'm the one that's making the decisions, my business is not going to move, because everyone's going to be there waiting for me to do
It's
something.
going to be a bottleneck.
Yes, and establishing the right, going back to Dubai, building this society and the community and this sense of leadership that Sheikh Mohammed kind of installed in every person in Dubai is how leadership is supposed to be looked at.
Yeah. That's very interesting. So looking back to your career, your growth as a leader. So you started already quite early in, when you're in the room, that's where leadership starts for you. But when did you then move into a position where you formally were leading people? Like now you're executive director of the group, but did you start as, let's say, because I think of it from a corporate world, right? You become senior manager, then director, and then senior director. You get more and more people responsibility. But was there a point in your career where okay, now I'm leading this whole team and they're reporting to me, so I have to take care of their, the one-on-ones, if they are sick or if they have some maternity leave or whatever it is, that now you are their people leader. When did that happen?
I think my first time to go through that was somewhere around early 2017, where it was the first time where our group was going for the ACHS accreditation, which is it's the international accreditation system for hospitals and medical facilities. And we were the first dental clinic in the Middle East and North Africa to obtain an international accreditation.
Mashallah. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So going through that journey, it took us around a year and a half, almost two. It was, a bit challenging in terms of leadership and making things happen and following up with everything, making sure you're on the right track, because it's literally we're 28 years old now as a group, and that was around 8 years ago. So we were already 20 years into the business.
Yeah.
And for 20 years, the whole business was going in a certain direction. And then suddenly in a year, you're going to have to shift and change all of that. So that's where things were a bit challenging. There's a lot of resistance in a way or another, a lot of...
Because of the changes.
Changes, which is, the change curve, the normal curve. So with that, I think it was the first time where I had to put everything I learned to action in real life.
And the people you were leading at that time, were they also dentists, or were you now starting to, now you had business people, you had different kind of people?
No, there was everything. So we had starting from the auxiliary team, the nursing team, the doctors, the management, even our chairman, because we are reformatting the whole thing. So everyone was involved at that time, and it was my project.
Yeah. So it was all on your shoulders to...
Pretty much. So you had to speak to people who are 30, 40 years older than you with way more experience, and to newcomers and to people who's been in the business for the past, at least 15 years.
Yeah.
That was
and how do you balance this, speaking with people that are much older than you, that you are leading? And let me tell you why I'm telling you this, or why I'm asking you this. I have a challenge sometimes because I'm quite young. Right? But I work with leadership development. So quite often when I enter a room of leaders that I'm working with, I'm by far the youngest. So I'm 34 now, and I was in a room with a big leadership team with the CIO and CTO and all of these in IT. And the youngest one was 40, and I was 32 at the time. And I get this, sometimes the age is a thing that they look at a lot. I'm confident, so I know that after just a few minutes, then I'm in and everything is good. But how do you lead people or communicate with people that are so much more older than you and more experienced than you, but you still have to have the authority over them?
I excel at one thing. I make it a point that I am the expert at this. Age doesn't have to do with it, and I make sure that I can prove that. But there's also a bit of emotional intelligence into that. Those people, it's not always push. You also need to let loose, which means you also need to bow down at certain positions. I go up to them for advice. I learn from them. I give them credits. Happens a lot of times. Like, look, guys, we are trying to achieve this. We're trying to establish this goal, but I can do this part of the job. I know, Mr. X, you have much bigger experience in this specific point. Please give us your advice on that so we can learn from it. So when you give them that, they kind of feel like, I'm recognized. It's an emotional, egoistic game in a way, let's call it. So if you know how to kind of implement that smoothly, it should go. Over pushing things and just resisting everyone will not take you anywhere.
No, I totally agree with this. I was coaching a vice president from a big manufacturing company in the US and Mexico a few years ago, and the HR director that hired me, he would say, He said, Rami, I'm just afraid maybe the age, that he thinks you're too young. But let's have a meeting, you and him, and then you can decide afterwards. Or he can decide afterwards. I said, that's fine, let's have a meeting. And we had a meeting, and I kept telling him that, I cannot teach you a thing about supply chain and operations. You are the expert on that.
Yeah.
What I know is about human psychology and coaching. I'm a very good coach, but you're much better at this than me. And he was, yes.
And then he would listen to you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good way of opening people up.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen it. It's you just gotta. They're people at the end of the day. You're dealing with emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
But one thing I'd like to stress on is, for any young leaders, don't underestimate experience and age.
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way. After my first management course or leadership course, I felt like I can rule the world.
Yeah.
But then life humbles you in a way or another.
Can you give me an example of that?
No, I mean, it doesn't mean that someone comes and proves you wrong, but you just go through experiences, and every time you just feel so stupid that they did not teach me that in the course. So the more you go through your daily life and discover new things, and the older you get, you figure that you don't know anything.
Hello there, just a quick break from the episode. First of all, thank you so much for listening to my podcast. I really appreciate it. Now, most of my listeners are actually not following me. So if you watch this episode or if you are listening to it, please follow me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to this. Thank you very much. And let's get back to the episode. Yeah.
And there's a saying, the more you know, the less you actually know. So yeah, now I understand that. I always, even when I'm trying to lead a group of people who are much older than me, I am definitely sure that they know a lot of things that I don't know about, no matter what you think that you learned or you went through.
I think I even read that in a book, I think it was the book called How to Win Friends and Influence People, where he says something like, whoever I meet, he knows something that I don't know that Obviously. I can learn from.
Sure.
Right? And that's, if you look at it like this, even as a leader, when you're leading senior people, you have to have that kind of approach. 100%. You can learn from them a lot. Yeah. Okay, so this was back in 2017 where you found yourself in this position of leading the group of people. From that to becoming the executive director of the company, what happened in between? Were did you grow as a leader? Did you get bigger teams, or were you just suddenly finding yourself in the position that you're in right now?
No, I mean, it's a gradual growth process that you obtain, not just by the titles or the position that you get. It's by actually being able to handle X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
So after we're getting the accreditation and the group itself is growing, plus we have incredible leaders above me as well. So with all that happening and getting more responsibilities, obviously you're just learning more, handling more, dealing with more things. So you stop looking at the title itself. It's just, let's get the job done. Let's get this new thing. And we have this thing. It's not about we don't handle the job by the position. There's something that has to be done. Like whoever is available, let's just get it done. So that's one of the things how we get things running.
So how big is the whole company right now?
We're around 85 people, 80 people all in all. Yeah.
Okay. And so you are the executive director. What does that mean? So how many people do you have reporting to you in your line? Or do you have like a...
It's not like that. It's a hierarchy. So starting from the chairman, the founder of the group, with the medical director, executive director, and our CEO, and everyone underneath reports to that. But obviously there are a few other managers and heads of departments. So, but if to overlook everything in general, it's the upper team. And then you have, because we have 9 specialties in the clinic, so each specialty has the head of a department, but their work is mainly like just pure dental work, treatment planning and all that. But when it comes to management and all that, and the HR team, marketing, media team and all that, it's mainly with the higher management.
And so as a dentist, you said you work with very small details, right?
Yeah.
So very millimeter precise. What do you think leaders in the corporate world could learn from leaders in your world?
It is all about the details. It's all about the fine, small details, the little structures, because you cannot. I mean, Burj Khalifa was built by bricks, brick next to the other. If you remove one, you wouldn't have the whole tower. So, if you believe in that and you always try to focus on little things first, and then step back and look at the bigger picture, you'll appreciate the details.
So looking back in those 7-8 years now, when you started with this in 2017 with the leadership role until now, has there been any big mistake that you have made as a leader that you've learned from?
Similar to what we discussed earlier, it's about, at first I thought I need to know it all. I need to be the best at everything. If I'm going to lead, I need to prove myself that I can do everything better than everyone. Waste of time. Will never happen. No, it's about finding the team that can do it all. Finding the people who can take the decisions and make things happen. And finding people who are better than you at certain things.
And what does that do to your ego? Because if you are a person with a lot of ego, don't want people that are better than you. But if you don't have ego and you actually think about the better for the company, then it doesn't matter.
It's all about the end product. I don't care. But behind the scenes, whatever happens, it's us. But the end product is the patient, the filling or the treatment that's being provided to the patient. So if I want to grow to become one of the most renowned dental groups in the world, you need to satisfy one person only, the person sitting on the dental chair. And to do that, you cannot go and act like and try to do the best that you can. No, you go get the best person that can do this and you get it done. But imagine, for example, like we always say this, in our clinic, sometimes one tooth can go through 3 or 4 dentists. Because we believe in specialization, every person doing the perfect job. We have an endodontist to do the root canal. We have a prosthodontist to drill the tooth and prepare it. And then if needed, we have a surgeon that extracts the tooth. An implantologist to place an implant. We don't believe in a Superman.
You can't be the best at all of those things.
Impossible. Impossible. Because each one of them, after graduating, had to go through at least 3 to 4 years of specializing, and it's a very intensive program. And then you come from another specialization or from another field and go like, no, I can do the job better than you. It's impossible.
I imagine that. And okay, so when I met you the first time, that was at the Brand Me Summit, right? I saw you on stage. And I noticed you also had a company with these toothbrushes, right, that are self-pasting toothbrushes. What is that all about?
MoNaji, oral hygiene products. Oh, that is a different game. That's a different management system. That's entrepreneurship.
But that's something you do on the side.
It's not really the side anymore nowadays. It's side by side.
It's become a big business now.
Yeah. It's growing. Alhamdulillah, it's growing exponentially. We have a great team. People are loving the product. It's been selling out in no time. We have big plans for that, but the management of that, I learned a lot in the past year. With that, like I thought, with what I know in terms of clinical management, I can apply it there. Totally different. That's a different business. It's distribution, it's advertising, it's sales, it's factories. So,
but are you the one then leading that business, or do you have someone running the operations?
It's me, and I have a partner as well who has very well established business when it comes to pharmaceuticals and distribution. So we work side by side. I do the dental part of the business and a bit of the media part. And my partner handles the actual logistics and distribution, factories and all that.
And is it just the two of you now, or do you have a team now?
No, we have a team. We're around 7 people,
and those you are leading by night then?
Yeah. they dread it. But yeah, I mean, that's the only time I can do it.
Yeah. So you're still full time with your dental work, and then you said in the evening you have to do all the other things, right?
Yeah, evening and between patients.
And in between patients.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So switching topic a little bit, you are also, I don't know if you like this term, but you're also a celebrity dentist.
Ish. Yeah.
Ish. Yeah. No. You are up there. How do you balance this part of being this big media brand as well, but also being the dentist in the clinic?
To be honest, me becoming a media figure or a celebrity dentist, I don't like. No, I don't like that title. Everybody is celebrity dentist now. Everyone can get the followers to do that. It was a result. That's why I don't really stress about it. A lot of people try to achieve fame to become successful. Big failure.
Yeah.
No, you become successful, and then your success will bring the fame by itself. So that's the way things happened for me. It was a result of what we did and worked on. I'm thankful, but it's not a pillar in my story or my success.
But is it something you would recommend to other executives and leaders
yeah.
to build a personal brand like
It is definitely needed. I'm not saying it's not important, but building a brand is very different from chasing followers. A lot of people don't know the difference. Chasing followers is very easy. You can just dress up as a clown and dance every morning in front of the camera. You will have the followers, but you have a brand. So you can have a very clean, well-established brand with a couple of followers that believe in you, that come to you, followers that convert into business. That makes much more sense than having 1 million followers and then they just follow you for your jokes. No one was going to come to and buy your product.
Yeah. So it's better to have 1,000 followers that actually follow you because of who you are, with the work you do, rather than 1 million followers that just see you do crazy
And
stuff.
I see it almost on daily basis. I have a lot of celebrities and influencers that walk into the office of all different types and categories. Some of them with 5 or 6 million followers, they would post your practice and you don't see anyone coming through them. And then you get this other person who has probably 10,000 or 20,000 followers, one story, and then suddenly the phone doesn't stop ringing because of the proper branding and credibility that they built with their audience.
Yeah.
You can have millions of followers who are just following you because you look good, because you're funny,
Or because you paid or you cheated,
or because
to
you
get a lot
bought
of
the followers. Yeah, I don't count these. Or because you bought followers. But people are too, they're aware now. They know what's going on. So they don't have the credibility. So yeah, building a proper brand doesn't have to do with how many followers or how famous you are.
It doesn't have what.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have. You can have it. It's very helpful. Actually, your Instagram account now is your CV that you present to every patient.
Yeah.
So make sure it looks decent and you present the work. And when people see it, we'll call you. But it's not about shoving it down people's throats and just trying to get the numbers and the followers. Doesn't have to do with that.
Yeah. So if we have let's say an executive out there in a big company, do you recommend them to also focus on their personal brand next to the business? Yeah.
For sure, 100%.
Why?
It's essential because it's your presentation. It's the suit that you wear to work every day. Why do you wear a suit to work? That's how you present yourself.
Yeah.
So you are presenting yourself to the general public, which is your potential buyers. You can't show up with flip-flops. And if you don't have a decent, proper presentation of your brand, then you're showing up with flip-flops.
Yeah. I heard you say in a podcast something very interesting, that when people go to a dentist, that's one of the most expensive services you buy, right? I think you said it's like going to a top hotel or the presidential suite, right?
Yeah.
You pay the same amount of money to get your tooth fixed. How do you make sure that this type of quality service that your company has to deliver, that it is delivering that all the time?
Again, going back to details with everything. I mean, you can go to any place that will get the job done. Fair. I respect those places, by the way. We all need Zuma and we all need McDonald's. You know? But it's different categories. So you just want to have your tooth filled and that's it. You can probably find places that will do that for a cheaper price, but don't expect the extra care for details, the attention, the specialists, the right x-rays, the latest machinery, the safest procedures, the luxury of the experience itself. So as we said last time, that people go and spend, $10,000 at a fancy hotel, they will not sleep at a bed with stains on the sheets. You cannot do that. So they come to me and my procedures are for $20,000. So on top of the proper procedure, dental procedure that I'm providing, I need to make sure that they're sitting on the most comfortable chairs in the waiting area. They're having the best coffee as well. They're being driven in the best cars. The receptionist is having a very nice smile while talking to them. So we take that extra mile to provide that.
But how do you make sure that your employees follow that? Because it's your business, so you want the best for your business.
We're there. Our industry is one of those industries that you cannot just hire a manager and walk away. Unfortunately, you cannot.
You have to be there.
And I, by the way, most successful people are like that. The other day, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a son of a multi-billionaire, and they work in factories, and it's let's say it's just a dirty job, physically dirty. They have to be on the ground. And he's like, my dad still goes to the site, goes into the factory where there's a horrible smell and there's a lot of workers and it's a chaos. And he's like, he still goes there. And he still follows up on work. And he has over, 50,000 employees. And he still goes to greet them and meet whoever he can. And whenever he bumps into people that work for him, he doesn't know all of them, but they go like, oh, we work for your company. He has a conversation with them. I don't think you can make it to that level by hiring people and sitting back. It doesn't work like that. So for us, we're there.
That's right. It reminds me of a story. I used to work for a big Danish company, also with around 40,000 employees. But back in the days when the founder, maybe there was around 1,000 people, he used to walk in the factory. He was very famous for he had a stock. You call it a stock?
Like a stick.
Yeah. And it was very well known that if he put that stick at your table, you had to show up at his office the next day. Just to have a conversation. Sometimes he would just praise you for the good work that you've been doing and so on. But that was just a fun story that I just...
Our chairman, Dr. Majd, every couple of days walks around the clinic and goes around and he sees the table and he does this. Goes to the folds, the curtain, wipes everywhere. Checks, make sure if there's in the most random places ever, like underneath a chair in the corner somewhere. So it's not his job. At this stage, he doesn't have to worry about the dust. He's handling a huge organization already, dealing with patients.
So I imagine now that you're in Dubai. Obviously, your team is very diverse. Right? From many different countries, cultural, religions, maybe. How do you make sure that how do you manage a team that is so diverse?
I think it's good. It's not very difficult. It doesn't really differ from dealing with a local team, let's say. And it's nice because this is kind of reinforced by Dubai, that everyone respects everyone. And you always expect different things. You always you learn how to deal with different cultures. But nothing, kind of stresses anyone because they all know that they come from different backgrounds. So they obviously expect that they're not going to see what they see back home. So I don't think there's much challenge when it comes to the diversity.
That is just part of the
culture.
Of Dubai.
This is a Dubai thing. It's not us.
And how... or maybe let me rephrase that. What do you think is, if you just had an open book and you should write a page, right? What do you think great leadership is?
Great leadership. I would say creating other leaders. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
By inspiring others, because a lot of people are leaders, but they don't inspire you. They make you get the job done.
They're leaders by title.
Yeah, and they will never mention you when you are when they're leaders. So if future leaders mention you, means you are a good leader, because they learned something from you. They wanted to become like you. You added something to them. So if you add value to the team members, not just the team members individually, I think that's the greatest way to put it for calling someone a great leader.
And what about, and this is maybe a little more of a personal story, right? Because what about your values as a leader? And because I also know that you are Muslim, right?
Yeah.
And it's a funny story. The way we met was it was at this
Very spiritual.
very spiritual. I don't usually do that in this podcast, but I think it's okay now.
Yeah.
I was actually leading the prayer in the prayer room in this event, and then you were standing behind me with the other people. And then when we were done, I said, Salaam alaikum, salam alaikum. Then I looked, oh, that's Dr. Mohammed.
Yeah.
And then we walked out together, and I said, hey, great job on stage. And we walked and talked a little bit, and we talked about this podcast, and that's why we're here today. But does religion have an influence on the way you lead, the way you think, and so on? How does it affect you?
So many ways, man. Like, I don't want to get all religious on people now, but I mean, it's not because I'm Muslim. It's in every religion, doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And doing the right thing when no one is watching. That's
actually a good leadership principle. Doing the right things when no one is watching.
When no one is watching. And I think that was given to us by our religion, but we cannot just say this is ours. It's in every religion. It's in every good person. It's knowing that what goes around comes back around also plays a big role. You're not providing the best to your team or to your patients. When you become a client somewhere else, they're not going to provide you with the best as well. So it's the basic principles of being a good person. When you apply it, whether it's from a religious or non-religious point of view, it comes back to you in a way or another. Whether it's money, success, fame, happiness, good treatment from people.
Yeah.
It's something for example, like sometimes I always stress about the sterilization of our instruments. I go like, look, every time you miss a spot on a certain instrument that goes in a patient's mouth, know that you are going to have the same in a spoon at a restaurant. You are going to eat with a dirty spoon one day.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're not going to speak extreme. Like, I'm not going to say next time you go to the dentist. It's going to happen tomorrow somewhere else. Religion for me as a person, I look at it from a religious perspective. It does play a huge role.
Yeah. All right. And then what would be one of your advice or your best advice to a young dental student getting into this field who wants to also pursue the leadership career within dentistry or this field? What is a good advice for them?
Take your time. Don't rush into things. First thing is first, learn dentistry.
Focus on the craft.
That's your product.
Yeah.
This is your tool. So before focusing on everything else, learn how to get things done properly. The core business, which is doing that filling, crown, extraction, any procedure that you're learning. Specialize. Focus on one thing. Don't try to perfect everything. And for the first 5 years, while you're doing that, observe. Don't try to prove anything. You have nothing to prove. That's one thing a lot of people fall into, whether in dentistry or not. We all graduate and we try to prove ourselves. Never works. Observe and learn in every way possible. And then everything else is a result of this.
Yeah.
Once you are learning and you excel at that craft you're doing, the money will come, the fame will come, the reputation will happen, the growth automatically comes along the way. But you cannot achieve all those nice things that are the ultimate goal without providing the best service.
So don't go for the fame first. Become good at what you do, and then you'll start to attract.
Yeah, because you'll disappoint people. I always say, the other day I said this with our products. I was telling them it's not about selling out the first time. Couldn't care less. I didn't celebrate our first sellout. When we sold out the first time, we did it in like 4 hours.
Oh, mashallah. Congratulations.
Thank you. 4 hours. People went crazy. I did not celebrate that. Couldn't care less. They're like, what's wrong with you? Why? It's a great achievement. Okay, I'm glad. But obviously, people like to try. Now, let's see if our product is successful or not. We'll know if people are going to buy it again.
Yeah.
So by just becoming famous and keeping that your main goal, yes, you might have people come in at first. They'll rush into your practice. But are they going to come back again? Are they going to send their family members? Would they recommend you?
Yeah.
This shows if you're successful or not. And we've seen a lot of those scenarios. We've been in the market for 28 years, and we've seen all kinds of stories and successful and failures, successful practices and failures. A lot of them did try to depend on social media. Open up a nice clinic somewhere in Jumeirah, social media, pay influencers, come in, I got this celebrity, I got that celebrity, which by the way, we have that. But we got that
after many years
showing
the work
and while proving ourselves, and our
Yeah.
priority is always the normal patient before anyone else. But no, they went for the social media, the influencers and all that. Okay, nice, big buzz. They got followers, people came in, they're like, this is not what we saw on social media. This is not what we thought it would be. Stepped out, never came back again. A year, 2 max, practice shuts down.
And that's very interesting. So what is the future? What does the future look like for you the next 5 years, you personally?
I don't like this question. I plan 6 months ahead, man. But the ultimate goal would be to really grow MoNaji as a group, have more products, and expand our distribution. We're in 5 countries now. Hopefully, we're trying to make it to bigger markets around the world. Sell a big share of that and chill on some island.
Can I come?
Yeah, sure. No, obviously, we'd be lying if I said no. But no, for now, is just focusing on that product and improving the quality, gaining people's trust. And, liberty is gotta keep going.
And that was my next question. What's the next 5 years for Liberty? Because I heard a podcast that was 2 years ago where it talked about big hospitals and so on. How is it going with that?
It's going well. A hospital for dentistry is a bit challenging. It's still part of the the plan and the goal that we want to achieve, but for now it's growing on a perfect pace. Things are going according to plan. We're expanding into academics. We have the training center now, which was the first and only training center which is authorized by Dubai Health Authority to train fresh graduates. So we have that part. So we have a lot of students training now in our training center. So yeah, we're kind of between the clinical and academics in between for now.
Yeah. All right. So is there anything on the topic of leadership that you felt that you haven't said that you would like to say here at the end of the show?
When it comes to leadership, whether you are a leader or you have a leader with you, be someone that people will look back one day and say, I worked for this person. I worked with that manager or, director or CEO, someone they can look back and say, I learned something. And for those who are in a position that they are working with that person, it's never personal. And sometimes the worst situations or the most stressful situations are the best teachers. So it's not if there's a harsh leader means he's a bad one. No, sometimes those are the best people that you learn from.
Yeah.
Maybe you can reframe it or redesign it one day. But as long as you're learning, just take it.
Yeah. Very good. Dr. Mohammed Naji, at the end of each episode, I always ask my guests if there is a leader out here in Dubai that you think could be very good to have on my podcast, someone who's also influential and a great leader with a lot of great perspectives on leadership.
I would say Dr. Mohammed Al-Wadiya, or also known as the Wolf of Real Estate in Dubai.
Is he a doctor? And
He's a PhD holder
okay.
in real estate. But he's in real estate. He's the CEO or co-founder, I'm not sure, of Harbor Real Estate, which is one of the biggest real estate companies in Dubai. Very well established, very well known. Someone I really learned from.
Yeah.
And someone who changed a lot in me. Yeah, definitely.
He would be good to have on my show.
Oh, yes.
Can you connect us?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's try.
Perfect.
I don't get the chance to see him often, but we'll try to make it happen.
All right. Dr. Mohammed Naji, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much, Rami. I really appreciate your time. I must say, I love what you're doing. Amazing skills at communicating. I pointed a few things here and there, and I'm excited to work with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.